experiencing a very serious situation. Plant management here has so far remained unavailable for comment. However, unofficial sources have indicated that the entire northern half of the plant has been sealed off. It is still too soon to tell whether or not a rumored precautionary evacuation will be put into effect. For World News Network, I'm Arthur Klassen.
Thank you, Arthur. We'll get back to you shortly, provided, of course, we can maintain satellite contact. We are continuing to receive both national and international reports. We go now to videographer Stephen Mortley. Steve.
There's absolute bedlam here. As you can see, I'm flying over the State Freeway trying to get a handle on just how much damage we're experiencing. And it's not just damage, Richard. There seems to be a tremendous amount of confusion. There's accidents literally everywhere. Trucks and cars stop. It certainly is hard to explain just what is going on.
This is the kind of thing we've been witnessing since just a few hours ago. In case you've just joined us, this is WNN's continuous global coverage of what can only be described as the greatest disaster or possibly attack in human history. It's uncertain what has brought about the catastrophic events we're witnessing. There is still no explanation forthcoming. It seems that all efforts around the globe are aimed at trying to control and stabilize the situation. Here's what we do know. At 4:59 Eastern Time, millions of people literally vanished off the face of the earth, both from this country and from around the world. We have not yet heard any official comment or explanation, but an announcement is expected shortly from the President of the United States, who it is believed has been whisked from a campaign stop in Dallas, Texas, to Air Force One. The UN Secretary General is at the UN headquarters in New York and should also have a comment shortly. It's not yet known if this mass disappearance is an isolated phenomenon or if further disappearances can be expected. We simply don't know what we're dealing with. Now, some speculate that this is a new technology that has been harnessed as a result of nuclear research, while other sources suggest that this is our first close encounter with new forms of intelligence against which we may have no defense. As you know, we are live and will be bringing you more information as it becomes available. We are now able to go to our reporter, Julie James, in Atlanta. Can you hear me, Julie?
We're live, Julie.
Julie?
We're live.
Yes, Richard, things here are completely out of control. No one has been able to explain the disappearance of what seems to be the major portion of the population of this city. Terror is the only way to describe the scene. Terror and absolute panic. It's like a real live horror movie. People don't know who or what they're dealing with. It's an enemy you can't see. But amid the chaos and violence that seems to be breaking out spontaneously around the city, many are experiencing a deep sense of loss and grief. I've been talking to many people today who are trying to deal with the fact that someone they love is missing. Each person has their own tragic story to tell. John Tepper is just one example of those who have lost someone they love. Mr. Tepper, when did you first discover that your wife was missing?
My wife called me from my daughter's house. She said she'd be right home. She never got home. She wasn't there. She's gone. My daughter's gone. And the kids, she warned me about this. She said this was going to happen. She told me it would. I've been left behind.
Richard, I wish I could say that this is just one incident, but it isn't. Everyone, it seems, has lost someone. I know I have. I know we will be telling you this a lot today, but this next scene is horrific. Out on one particularly hard-hit area of the interstate, this man saw his wife and children disappear and literally went insane. Police were there to control a mass shootout, but everyone just stopped when this man literally set himself on fire. It somehow captured the futility they all felt. The futility and terror we all feel. For World News Network, I'm Julie James. Now over to videographer Jim Walker, who's been standing by in the downtown area.
Pandemonium is the only way to describe the scene here. People have basically just gone crazy. They've run out onto the streets in a state of panic. The corner of Main and Broad, usually a quiet meeting place, is typical of a city and world gone mad. This scene on Cooper Street is an example of thousands of small accidents. People have vanished, but as you're seeing, their vehicles haven't. All over the city, the story is the same. Motor vehicles on fire, in accidents, and like this bus, abandoned when the driver disappeared.
We now have confirmation that for security reasons, the President is aboard Air Force One, and he is due to... We now have a radio transmission from the President.
My fellow Americans and citizens of the world, we don't know what we are dealing with here in this time of trial for our budding world community. One thing is certain. Whatever it is, it knows no borders. We shall have to face this together as passengers aboard Spaceship Earth. As I speak these words, the Pentagon, NATO, and the joint UN forces are being mobilized. Aircraft across the globe from many nations are airborne and have assumed defensive positions. Radar and top-secret new tracking technologies are covering every area of the sky, and sophisticated communication systems are seeking any communication that may be taking place. We have also launched 2 space shuttles to join Explorer, which is already in orbit. Explorer, which has been in orbit through this entire disaster, reports monitoring no unusual phenomena. I have spoken with the leaders of the leading nations. Some others, unfortunately, are missing. And due to the global nature of this crisis, we are convinced that this is not the result of a new weapon. Instead, we are facing something new. Something our old ways of thinking never prepared us for. Let us look within ourselves, draw upon our great human spirit, and come together in the oneness of this challenge as members of the human family. Finally, I must take this opportunity to tell whoever or whatever is responsible for this act that we seek communication and understanding. We are a peace-loving people who seek only to grow and learn. We pose no threats. We await your communication.
The situation certainly defies conventional explanations. Reporter Mark Parsons has been collecting information from various sources and files this global report.
With the sudden disappearance of literally millions of people, the entire planet is experiencing fear and confusion. Tears are flowing and tempers are flaring as people search for answers. Looting and rioting is rampant everywhere. The police simply cannot deal with the magnitude of panic that exists. Fires burn out of control in homes, apartments, and factories where it is suspected that the sudden vanishing of people everywhere has resulted in everything from stoves to welding torches being left unattended. This filling station was destroyed when an unmanned vehicle collided with the pumps. Highways are plugged with accidents caused by moving vehicles whose drivers seem to have just disappeared.